Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Ram
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Ram Ram Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Chaitanya
Ram,
Prabhu
Hare
Nityananda
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare, Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare,
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram
Krishna.
Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Hare Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare Hare
Ram, Ram,
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Ram Ram Ram Ram Hare Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura
Krishna
Bhatta
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare 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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Everyone, it's 7 o'clock.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Anybody like to share?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I would like to recite last few verses from Brahma Samhita prayers.
Yeah.
Dharmo tha papa nishchaya shrutaya stapamsi brahmadi kita padagava dhavascha jiva yaddatta matra vibhava prakata prabhava govindamadi purusham tamham bhajami. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, by whose comfort power are maintained the manifested potencies that are found to exist of all virtues, all vices, and the Vedas, the penances, and all jivas, from Brahma to the meanest insect. Yastav Indra Gopam Atha Vendram Aho Swakarma Bandhana Purma Phala Bhajanam Atagnoti Karmani Nirdhati Kintu Cha Bhakti Bhajam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who burns up to the roots of all fruitive activities, of those who are imbued with devotion and impartially ordains for each the due enjoyment of the fruits of one activities, of all those who walk in the path of work in accordance with the chain of the previously performed works, no less in the case of the tiny insect that bears the name of Indra Gopa than in that of Indra, the king of the Devas. Yam krodha kama sahaja pranyadi biti vatsalya moha guru gaurava sevya bhave sanchitya tasyat sadrisham tanum apur ete govindamadi purusham tamham bhajami. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, the meditators of whom, by meditating upon him, under the sway of wrath, amorous passion, natural friendly love, fear, parental affection, delusion, reverence, and willing service, attain to bodily forms befitting the nature of their contemplation. Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpak Taravo Druma Dhumis Bhumis Chinta Mani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanam Api Vamsi Priya Sakhi Chidanandam Jyoti Param Api Tad Aswadyam Apicha Sayatra Shirabdi Sravati Surabhibhyascha Sumahan Nimeshardhakyo Vrajati Nahit Yatrapi Samaya Bhaje Sweta Dvipam Tamaham Iha Golokam Iti Yam Vidantaste Santaha Shriti Viralacharaha Katipaye. I worship that transcendental seat known as Svetadvipa, where as loving consorts the Lakshmis in their unalloyed spiritual essence practice the amorous service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover, where every tree is a transcendental purpose tree, where the soil is the purpose gem, all water is nectar, every word is a song, every gate is a dance, the flute is the favorite attendant, effulgence is full of transcendental bliss, and the supreme spiritual entities are all enjoyable and tasty when numberless milk cows always emit transcendental oceans of milk, where there is eternal existence of transcendental time, who is ever present and without past or future, and hence is not subject to the quality of passing away, even for the space of half a moment. That realm is known as Golok, only to a very few self-realized souls in this world. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. I'll sing. We can read the next song in the Pratana series. Translation. O Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to you. O Prabhu Nityananda, all glories to you. O Lord Advaita Chandra, all glories to you. O devotees of Lord Gauranga, all glories to you all. I beg all of you to please be merciful to me. Please do not despise or reject this most fallen person who is approaching you all. Your lotus feet are the most valuable thing in this material world. I always see your lotus feet within my mind. I have no other goal. I hope to one day attain your lotus feet, and this causes great pain to arise within my mind. I constantly cry, my heart full of suffering. I do not see how I will be able to attain your lotus feet. I don't see how I can always remember the lotus feet of Lokanath Goswami, my spiritual master. O Master, if you are at all merciful to me, then please glance upon me one time. Please dispel the darkness in Narottam Das's heart. So he is begging for mercy from everyone, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, and his spiritual master Lokanath Goswami. He's saying, I'm the most fallen person. I need your mercy. So, like that, we have to cry for mercy of Vaishnavas, Guru, Gauranga. Anything you'd like to add, Prabhu? Thank you, Prabhu. So, I would want to continue the pastime we were discussing yesterday. So we discussed how Jatila, she stopped Radharani from going to Krishna's house for cooking, seeing that Radharani's attachment for Krishna is increasing day by day. So she told that, Dhanishta, who's Krishna's maid servant at Krishna's house, she can come and Radharani can cook at, Jatila's place, and Dhanishta can carry the cooking to Krishna's house if they are still wanting Radharani to cook. So Radha and Krishna, they were not able to meet and they were feeling a lot of separation. Radharani was having high fever, high temperature, and like the Sakhis were putting Radharani on to a cool lotus, and the lotus would dry up. And they would put sandalwood pulp and camphor on her, and it will quickly dry up. And there at Nandagram, Krishna was not eating much. Rohini was cooking, but he was not feeling satisfied. He lost his appetite. And so when Dhanishta came to Radharani's house, Radharani, although she was feeling so much anxiety of separation, Dhanishta told Radharani that Krishna is not eating nicely. Immediately Radharani got up and prepared so many preparations for Krishna. So while going, Dhanishta told Radharani that you should pretend that you have been bitten by a snake, and Krishna would come as disguised as a snake charmer. So Radharani fell down unconscious, and Vishakha told Jatila that Radharani has been bitten by a snake, and Radharani said that I please don't bring any male doctor, because I don't want to be touched by a male doctor. And somebody suggested you should bring Krishna because Krishna has subdued Kali and Nag, so he can, remove any kind of snake bite things. So Radharani became very angry and said, "You can bring anyone but Krishna." Like that, Radharani is pretending to be angry. So, Jatila told Lalita that please stay with Radha. I'm going to bring Purnamashi Devi, who will solve this problem. So Jatila left to meet with Purnamashi. At that time, Nandimukhi, the daughter of Garga Muni, was visiting with Purnamashi. Jatila asked her, "You have learned all kinds of scriptures from your father. Do you know the process for removing the poison from Radha's body and curing her?" Nandimukhi replied, "No, I don't know that. But my younger sister Vidyavali has learned mantras for curing snake bites. Her mother-in-law's house is in Koshi, but she is at present visiting our father's house in Mathura. Yesterday, to our good fortune, she came to visit me and is at this moment in my house." When Jatila heard this, immediately she fell at the feet of Nandimukhi and said, "I humbly offer my pranams to you and beg you to come to my house in Yavat along with your younger sister Vidyavali. Maybe though she will refuse you, so let me go to your house now and take her with me immediately." Prior to Jatila's arrival, all arrangements had been made according to Dhanishta Devi's plan. Thus Krishna was waiting in Nandimukhi's house dressed as Vidyavali, the sister of Nandimukhi, who knew the science of curing snake bites. And so, accompanied by Jatila and Kutila, Nandimukhi hurriedly returned to her house to fetch Vidyavali. She entered the house and called to her and explained the situation, telling her, "Please go at once with these ladies and cure Sri Radha of the snake bite." Casting a shy glance at Jatila and Kutila, Vidyavali said, "My father-in-law's family is very aristocratic, and I am now a housewife in that family. How can I simply go to another's house? My family's reputation will be stained." So Krishna is also making so many excuses that I'm from an aristocratic family, a housewife. How can I go to somebody else's house? So Jatila fell at the feet of Vidyavali and begged her to return to Yavat with them. Vidyavali said, "You don't know the system of our Brahman family. In your cowherd family, ladies move freely from house to house. But in Brahman families, ladies do not go to others' homes unaccompanied or uninvited." Nandimukhi said, "The Gopal dynasty are not Brahmanas, but they are great devotees of Vishnu. People of Koshi are not Vishnu Bhaktas." Vidyavali said, "Actually, when I was in Koshi, I heard that this Nanda Maharaj has a very wicked and naughty son." So Vidyavali is saying, Krishna is saying about himself that Nanda Maharaj has a very wicked and naughty son. He has a very bad character and attracts any beautiful lady he sees. I am very afraid of him and I dare not go out of the house in this area. She paused for a moment. "However, I have now come to your house and whatever you ask of me, I am bound to do. If my going to Yavat will save the life of this girl, then I must go. But you must accompany me, Nandimukhi, only then I will go." Nandimukhi replied, "Do not be concerned, we will all accompany you to Yavat." On the way, Vidyavali said to Jatila, "I have memorized all the mantras for removing poisons, and when this mantra is chanted upon a beetle leaf and chewed, it becomes very powerful medicine. As soon as your daughter-in-law eats that leaf I have chewed, immediately all the poison will be removed. But will your daughter-in-law eat pan that is chewed by me?" Jatila said, "My daughter is very respectful to Brahmanas. She will never refuse to eat the remnants of a Brahmani. Rather, she will eat it with devotion and respect." And Radharani always eats Krishna's remnants, so she'll be happy to take Krishna's remnants. When all of them reached Jatila's house, Jatila and Abhimanyu both washed the feet of Vidyavali, sprinkling the remnants on Radha's head and holding it to her mouth to drink. Jatila told Radha, I have brought with me the most powerful expert in removing snake poison, the daughter of Garga Muni and the younger sister of Nandimukhi. She will offer you betel nut chewed by her. Please take it with love and devotion, without any hesitation, then you will be cured immediately. Then Jatila brought Vidyavali to Radharani's bedroom. Vidyavali saw that Radhika had covered her whole body with her cloth. She told Jatila to uncover Radha so she could chant the mantra upon her whole body. She then told Jatila, I will need to check her body to see which area the poison has gone to. Then Krishna, as Vidyavali, start to chant different mantras, touching every part of Sri Radha's body as he chanted. Then turning to Jatila, he said, after chanting this very powerful mantra and touching her body, still the poison has not left. This is very surprising. So Krishna is creating a drama. Jatila said to Vidyavali, please give her the betel nut you have chewed. You told me it was the most potent cure. Please give her this. Accordingly, Vidyavali took one betel leaf and made a show of chanting some mantra over it. After chewing it, Vidyavali gave it to Radha. After some time, Vidyavali turned again to Jatila and said, even after giving her the chewed betel, still the poison has not left her body. Jatila replied anxiously, what to do then? Vidyavali hesitated, then said, well, there is one more mantra. It is the most powerful, but it must be chanted alone in a secluded place. Not everyone can hear this mantra. It is a special mantra that will bring forth a snake who bit her. That snake will then remove the poison from your daughter's body. If someone is bitten by this snake, no mantra can save them. So you all sit outside. And I will call this snake by mantra. Do not fear. I will save your daughter-in-law. I require only 3 hours, then she will be cured. Everyone left the room and sat silently outside the door. For some hours, they heard nothing. And then Krishna began an imaginary dialogue between Vidyavali and the snake. Speaking loudly in the voice of Vidyavali, he said, O king of all snakes, from where have you come? Then in the voice of the snake he answered, I have come from Kailash. Vidyavali said, why have you come here? Who has sent you? Snake, I have come on the order of Shivaji to eat Abhimanyu, the son of Jatila. Vidyavali saying, what offense did Abhimanyu commit to warrant such an instruction from Shivaji? Vidyavali saying, Abhimanyu has committed no offense, but his mother Jatila has committed 2 offenses. Vidyavali saying, if his mother has committed offenses, then instead of biting her, why did you bite faultless Radha? The snake is saying, due to the blessings of Durvasa Muni and by the strength of her chastity, Radha's husband can never be killed. But if she is killed, then her husband can be killed easily. And when both her son and daughter-in-law have died, then Jatila will die from the pain of separation. Vidyavali saying, O king of the snakes, what kind of grave offense has the old lady committed at the feet of Durvasa Muni to warrant such a reaction? Snake is saying, Durvasa Muni has taken birth as the expansion of Shambhu. Nandan Krishna is the Ishtadev, the worshipable lord of Shambhu. Jatila is making false accusations on the name of Krishna, and she is also preventing Radha from going to Nanda Bhavan to cook for Krishna. For these 2 reasons, Shambhu is angry, and so he arranged for this Jatila and her daughter-in-law Kutila to die in Vraj after suffering for some time. That is why I bit Radha and not Jatila. Hearing this conversation, Jatila cried out, O Vidyavali, I beg you, catching your feet, I plead with you, please pacify the king of snakes. Subdue his anger. I will never again prevent Sri Radha from going to Nandagram to cook for Krishna. Let her go daily to Nanda Maharaj's house. I am offering my thousands of obeisances at the lotus feet of Durvasa Muni to excuse me for my offences. I am ill-hearted and old, and everyone knows me as a mad woman. My daughter Kutila is also very ill-minded and is always unnecessarily accusing Radha of having a bad character and giving her a hard time. Please excuse both of us for our offences. When Kotila heard her mother beseeching Vidyavali in this way, she also prayed, O Sarparaj, king of the snakes, please do not bite my brother Abhimanyu. I will never again give any trouble to my sister-in-law Radha. I will never stop her from leaving the house. Let her go wherever she wishes according to her desire. When Jatila and Kutila spoke like this, the snake king Krishna said, Hear me, O woman of Yavat. In the name of Shambhu, I speak the truth. Sri Radha is a most chaste lady. She is the crest jewel of all chaste ladies. Now you both promise me with your hands on Abhimanyu that you accept Radha as the crest jewel of all chaste ladies as per my verdict. Jatila immediately said, O Snake King, I have full faith in your words. From this day on, I will never check Radha's movements. I beg you this boon that you please bless my son Abhimanyu and his wife to have a long life together. The snake is saying, Oh dear old lady, now I am pleased with you. You should feed Durvasa Muni who is like Rudra and please him. I am taking back the poison from your daughter-in-law's body and then I shall return to Kailash. But I leave you with this warning. If you or your daughter Kutila give a bad name to Krishna and stop Radha from going to Nanda Maharaj's house, then on that day I will return from Kailash and bite your son and daughter-in-law. After saying this, the snake king disappeared and the poison was removed from Radha's body. Vidyavali declared to the assembled gopis that Radhika was cured. Then everybody entered the room and went straight to Radha to check she was cured. Sri Radha told them, Now there is no trace of poison. I am cured. Everyone offered their humble respects to Vidyavali and said to her, Dear Vidyavali, your knowledge of removing snake poison is great. You are very glorious, and you have become even more glorious by saving Radhika's life. Your life is now blessed. Then everyone present told Jatila, Vidyavali has saved the life of your daughter-in-law. You should take a necklace from the neck of Sri Radha and offer it to Vidyavali as a humble gift. Jatila said, What is this talk of one mere necklace? All the ornaments of Sri Radha should be offered to Vidyavali. Then she told Radha, My dear daughter, Vidyavali has saved you from death. You should personally gift her all of your ornaments with your own hand. Do not fear. Rajeshwari Yashoda and your mother Kirtida will give you more ornaments to replace these. She then told Vidyavali, my daughter-in-law will decorate you with all the ornaments. Please do not deny her and kindly accept them. Radharani happily removed all her ornaments and decorated Krishna in the form of Vidyavali. Sri Radha was thinking that she was so fortunate that she could have Krishna's association in private for these few hours and then be able to decorate him in front of those who were his greatest obstacles in meeting with Krishna, Jatila and Kutila. After receiving the ornaments, Vidyavali said to Jatila, Now, dear mother, it is after midnight. May we two sisters have your permission to return to our homes? Jatila said, O Nandimukhi, O Vidyavali, you are both great ladies from an aristocratic family. How can you go out in the middle of the night? Please sleep happily in the house of Sri Radha. Tomorrow morning you can go back to your house. Nandimukhi said, Dear mother, of course we should follow your order, and also till now the influence of the poison has not fully left Radha's body. It is wise, at least for one night, that Vidyavali stay with your daughter-in-law. Then both Jatila and Kutla said, Yes, Nandimukhi, let your sister Vidyavali sleep upstairs on the flower bed along with our Radha. And so by the order of Jatila, Krishna was sleeping with Sri Radha on the flower bed. So, yeah, that was a pastime.
Very amusing pastime.
Yeah. Krishna speaks in the voice of the snake.
Okay. Anything else? Krishna comes as Vidyavali. Krishna comes as the snake. There is no snake, but Krishna is posing himself as the snake has come. So
Right.
Krishna does big drama.
So also in Nectar of Devotion it's mentioned about the snake bite, right? And the mantra that is cured for us. We are bitten by the snake of Maya, right? Like mantras are used to cure snake bites as Krishna is chanting mantras. So there it's mentioned, Rupa Goswami says, the mantra to cure our snake bite is the Hare Krishna mantra.
In Bhagavatam, one purport, Prabhupada also writes like, yeah, maybe it's in Nectar of Devotion also, yes. So, correct. So we are all illusion in this material existence. To get out of the illusion, we have to come in contact with transcendental sound vibration. And the illusion starts with thinking that I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, and I am the proprietor. So when we say Trinadapi Sunichena, then this is nectar of devotion. Yeah. You want to read that?
Yeah, so this is from Nectar of Devotion. In the Garuda Puran, the stress on hearing is expressed very nicely. It is said, the state of conditioned life in the material world is just like that of a man lying unconscious, having bitten by a snake. This is because both such unconscious states can be ended by the sound of a mantra. When a man is snake bitten, he does not die immediately, but first becomes unconscious and remains in a comatose condition. Anyone who is in the material world is also sleeping, as he is ignorant of his actual self or his actual duty and his relationship with God. So, materialistic life means that one is bitten by a snake of Maya, and thus, without any Krishna consciousness, is almost dead. Now, the so called dead man bitten by a snake can be brought back to life by the chanting of some mantra. There are expert chanters of these mantras who can perform this feat. Similarly, one can be brought back into Krishna consciousness from the deadly unconscious state of material life by hearing of the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so
Krishna is so mystical, right? Krishna is when Brahma did stole the cowherd boys and cows also, so he himself manifested as the cowherd boys and cows, right? And here also there is no snake, but Krishna himself turned as a snake and talking like that. And it is interesting that he is talking in the voice of snake and everyone can understand. Usually like in this world snake talk, right? So yeah, I mean this kind of ability also given by Krishna, that one can understand what in the form of snake what he was speaking, what the conversation is going on.
I think he was speaking in the mind of Bitavati, through the mind of Bitavati.
Yeah, in the voice of Vidyavali.
Yeah, Vidyavali, huh? Yeah.
but then they will feel like that the snake is not talking, it's Vidyavali who is talking.
Because Vidyavali was communicating with Jatila.
He's saying what the snake is telling, right? Maybe that's what it is. Otherwise, they will know it's Vidyavali talking. Jatila, Kutila were outside, right?
Yeah. I think, he talks in the voice of the snake.
Yeah. But snake, how does it talk? Like, okay, so but Krishna can. He's posing himself as a snake and they are outside, so they are thinking that yes, the snake, Lord Shiva has sent.
So, Mata, is it Bhagavatam story or Garg Samhita story?
All these stories are mentioned by our acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, in different books. It's compiled by Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj from Mayapur in one book on Srimati Radharani. But yeah, it's amazing that our acharyas have given us these pastimes, and some of them are very funny pastimes.
So then he asks for two blessings, right? That they will not stop Radharani from going to.
He says that you have committed two offenses. First, you have, you say wrong things about Krishna. And second, you're stopping Radharani from going to Krishna's house.
Okay. So we'll read some verses from Bhagavatam. Evam haro bhagavati pratilabdha bhavo bhaktya dravadridaya dridaya utpulaka pramoda Outkanthya baspa kalaya muhur ardyamanas tacha vichitta badisham shanake viyukte. So Kapila Dev is telling his mother, by following this course, the yogi gradually develops pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. What is the course? Meditating on Vishnu in the core of his heart. Did we see this? We didn't read this. Okay. With devotion steeped in love and affection, the yogi should meditate within the core of his heart upon the laughter of Lord Vishnu. The laughter of Vishnu is so captivating that it can be easily meditated upon. So Krishna's smiling is sweet. Everything is sweet about Krishna. When the Supreme Lord is laughing, one can see his small teeth, which resemble jasmine buds, rendered rosy by the splendor of his lips. Once devoting his mind to this, the yogi should no longer desire to see anything else. So we say Radharaman also sometimes displays teeth, right? What does it say?
Yes. Yeah, that's what.
Correct.
Mm.
And sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. So very bird-like teeth. Jasmine birds like teeth. He's a small boy. So how small boys have teeth which are very bird-like. It is recommended that yogi visualize the laughter of the Lord after studying his smile very carefully. Or maybe he's grown up also. These particular descriptions of meditation on the smile, laughter, face, lips, and teeth all indicate conclusively that God is not impersonal. So God has teeth, God has laughter, smile, face, lips. So God is a person. It is described herein that one should meditate on the laughter or smiling of Vishnu. There is no other activity that can completely cleanse the heart of the devotee. The exceptional beauty of the laughter of Lord Vishnu is that when he smiles, his small teeth, which resemble the buds of jasmine flowers, at once become reddish, reflecting his rosy lips. If the yogi is able to place the beautiful face of the Lord in the core of his heart, he will be completely satisfied.
So, if we want to see the jasmine bud-like teeth of Krishna, then we can have darshan of Radha Raman Lalji in Vrindavan. He has teeth, really beautiful teeth.
Thank you. In other words, when one is absorbed in seeing the beauty of the Lord within himself, the material attraction can no longer disturb him. So it is all about turning our attraction away from the Lord, away from material nature onto the Lord. The whole purpose of we have come to this material world because we are too much attracted by the things in this world. So we have to now turn away. We have turned away our face away from, like Prahlad Maharaj says, right? What is that verse? Naivod Vijay Paradurataya Vaitaranyas Tvad Virya Gayan Mahamritam Agna Chitta. So Shoche Tatho Vimukha Chetasa Indriyartha. Vimukh. We have turned away our face from the Supreme Lord for the purpose of Indriyartha, for the purpose of sense gratification. Maya Sukhaya Bharamudvahato Vimudan. For the purpose of illusory enjoyment, Maya Sukh. One has turned away one's face from the Supreme Lord. And that's why Prahlad Maharaj is lamenting for all the conditioned souls like us who are suffering in this material existence because we have turned away from the Lord. So he wants to bring them back to the Lord's lotus feet. In other words, when one is absorbed in seeing the beauty of the Lord within himself, the material attraction can no longer disturb him. That's like rasovarjam rasopiyasya param drishtva nivartate. When one becomes Atmaram, self-satisfied by dint of devotional service, ye atma suprasidati, then he is no longer hankering for anything else of this world. Because he's satisfied, Prabhupada says, he will be completely satisfied. Okay, so next verse. By following this course, any comments on this verse?
So how that stage will one can attain, Prabhuji, like completely satisfied?
That's the difficult part. By sustained, the highest devotion is attained in slow degrees. What is that word? By the method of constant endeavor for self-realization with the help of theistic conduct, scriptural study, and perseverance in practice. So, yeah, it's not so easy because we are conditioned for very, very long time in this material world. So, to again become fully attracted to the Supreme Lord will take some time. So that's why Brahma says it's attained in slow degrees. But it's up to us also. How much mercy we receive is based on how much we surrender to Krishna. So, and we have to surrender to the great souls like Srila Prabhupada, and so we have to surrender. Then only by service to great souls, and we can receive the mercy of Krishna. Any other comment on that?
And we should see the deities, the impression on the mind, as we were discussing yesterday, the deity in the mind. More we use our eyes in seeing the beautiful form of the Lord, decorating the Lord, more it would stay within our consciousness.
Yeah, that's easier actually.
And that's why deity worship works, because you're decorating the Lord.
Yeah, that's true. Especially, I just little Bal Gopal just came to my home. I think it takes your mind, holds your mind. His face is so beautiful. Like a child is attracting you. Crawling Krishna is very attractive, actually.
Yeah, Prabhupada said if you decorate the deity nicely, then you will forget to dress yourself nicely.
Correct.
So, yeah. So many deity services, cooking for the Lord, dressing the Lord, bowing down, singing to the deity. So many, offering flowers, lamp, arti. Okay, so by following this course, the yogi gradually develops pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. And then Rupa Goswami also says, Syat Krishna Macharidadi. So we're chanting every day with great attention, he says, then the disease of avidya will be destroyed at its root. And we will feel the taste of bhakti. So it's a whole lifestyle, basically, how we conduct our lifestyle by hearing, chanting, all the 9 processes. And one should be eager. If one does not have the taste, then one should be eager to associate with those who have the taste. And then by their association, we can get taste. So, and if we associate with non-devotees, then the taste will go away. Whatever taste we have will also go away. It's not that we hate anybody, but it's just like, you want to be a good student, then you want to be around good students who are seriously studying. If you are around people who are, or students who are not studying, and then you'll also take casually. So, like that. So, by following this course, the yogi gradually develops pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hari. So, we'll be very fortunate if we get association with advanced devotees. By following this course, the yogi gradually develops pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. So this course, by meditating on the laughter of Lord Vishnu, and then meditating on the chest of the Lord, as previously it is described, on the eyes, like that. Okay, so in the course of his progress in devotional service, the hairs on his body erect through excessive joy. So these are the symptoms of being enthused in devotional service. And he is constantly bathed in a stream of tears, occasioned by intense love. So tears are constantly coming out from his eyes. Gradually, even the mind, which he used as a means to attract the Lord, as one attracts a fish to a hook, withdraws from material activity. So the mind is withdrawn from the sense objects, just like a tortoise. Okay, and it's attracted to the Lord. Even the mind, which he used as a means to attract the Lord, as one attracts a fish to a hook, withdraws from material activity. Here it is clearly mentioned that meditation, which is an action of the mind, is not the perfect stage of samadhi or absorption. In the beginning, the mind is employed in attracting the form of the Supreme Personality of God, but in the higher stages, there is no question of using the mind. A devotee becomes accustomed to serving the Supreme Lord by purification of his senses. In other words, the yoga principles of meditation are required as long as one is not situated in pure devotional service. The mind is used to purify the senses, but when the senses are purified by meditation, there is no need to sit in a particular place and try to meditate upon the form of the Lord. One becomes so habituated that he automatically engages in the personal service of the Lord. When the mind forcibly is engaged upon the form of the Lord, this is called Nirbija Yoga or lifeless yoga. For the yogi does not automatically engage in the personal service of the Lord. So that is forcibly engagement. Nirbij yoga. For the yogi does not automatically engage in the personal service of the Lord. So there is like Shantaras, then more than Shantaras is Dasyaras. In Shantaras there may be meditation on the Lord and like that. But Dasya means there is active service to the Lord. But when he is constantly thinking of the Lord, that is called Sabija Yoga or living yoga. So he is doing service also. He is not just forcibly trying to control his mind. And Prabhupada says that there is Nirbij Yoga. Bij means seed and Nir means without. Sabij, with the seed of bhakti. One has to be promoted to the platform of living yoga. So one should engage in the service of the Lord 24 hours a day, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita. The stage of Premanjana Churita can be attained by developing complete love. Like in the 12th chapter, Prabhupada says, sometimes he goes to the market to buy flowers and other food stuff, fruits like that. And sometimes he washes the utensils in the temple. Sometimes he does this, sometimes that. But everything is samadhi, because he's doing everything for the service of the Lord. So when one's love for the Supreme Personality of God in devotional service is fully developed, one always sees the Lord, even without artificially meditating on His form. So whoever you love, that person is always on your mind. So in spontaneous devotional service, sees the Lord everywhere, within and without. His vision is divine because he has no other engagement. At this very elevated stage, at this stage of spiritual realization, it is not necessary to engage the mind artificially. So it doesn't need all this pranayam and everything, because he's already in love with the Supreme Lord. So it doesn't have to control the senses. Its senses and mind automatically are engaged in Krishna's service in love spontaneously. Since the meditation recommended in the lower stages is a means to come to the platform of devotional service, those already engaged in transcendentally loving service of the Lord are above such meditation. So higher than yogis are bhaktas, because the bhaktas are engaged directly in the service of the Lord, devotional service. This stage of perfection is called Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Ashtanga yogi is like he's seeing the Lord in the heart, but then after seeing the beautiful form of the Lord in the heart, he wants to do something for the Lord. He wants to engage in service. Although the Lord doesn't need anything from us, but he is hankering, right? I mean, we may say, well, why should I offer the Lord? He's Lord, he doesn't need anything. But Krishna is saying, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhakta Prayach. You offer me something. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Or offer your life to me. Pranarartha Dhiya Vacha. If you can't offer your life, then offer your money. If you can't offer your money, then you offer your intelligence in the service of the Lord. Shriya Acharanam Sada. Of course, this says one should work for the welfare of others with his life, with his wealth, with his intelligence and his words. So that service to others means a selfless service, giving Krishna to others. So with your life, you dedicate yourself in the service of the Lord. So prana artha, with your money. So everything for the Lord. Nothing for me, that is the highest stage of a Vrajavasi. Everything for the Lord, nothing for me. So completely dedicated. Okay. Anything you would like to say on this? So sometimes Krishna doesn't see how much we are giving, but how much we are holding back also. So,
Yeah, so the purport Prabhupada is saying, in the beginning, mind is employed. I'm hearing an echo. Yeah, in the beginning, mind is employed in attracting the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but in higher stages, there is no question of using the mind. For chanting too, he said that, right? Same, where's the question of mind? You chant and hear. Here too is saying that in advanced stages, the love is so much, right, that the yogi automatically sees the vision of the Lord everywhere within himself as well.
Savar dekhi, janam dekhi.
Right. So we use our mind to imagine, that we are offering flower garlands to Krishna, like Narottam Das Thakur is washing the lotus feet of Krishna, offering sandalwood paste. but it would come automatically at higher stage. But in the earlier stages, we have to force our mind to do that.
There is a spiritual mind, there is a material mind. So the material mind dissolves, and then the soul, with its spiritual senses, engages in the service of the Lord. So that's why they go into meditation. They're boiling milk, and their hand gets burned. So they are in their spiritual form, with spiritual senses. They are serving Krishna in the spiritual world. So there is mind there also, but that's spiritual. It's part of the spiritual. Here, mind is matter. Bhumi aponalo vayu kamana buddhi vacha. So there are two aspects to mind, as we were reading that article also from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was saying. There is spiritual mind and there is material mind. So material mind is attracted to all material things and sense gratification, and so that part, actually, the subtle body dissolves as one goes back to the spiritual world. The subtle body, the material aspect of the mind. So, with spiritual senses, then you serve Krishna. Okay, so next verse. When the mind is thus completely free from all material contamination, detached from material objectives, it is just like the flame of a lamp. So nothing can distract it. The mind is completely steady, like the flame of a lamp in windless place. There are no material desires to fulfill. There is nothing. So, as Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita, the determination of a yogi is like a lamp in a windless place, so steady. At that time, the mind is actually dovetailed with that of the Supreme Lord and is experienced as one with Him, because it is freed from the interactive flow of the material qualities. So we have to practice, and then, because it is naturally there for us, devotion to the Lord is naturally in our consciousness for every jiva, so it will come about. When the anartha nivritti happens, anartha nivritti means becoming free from all material contamination. So, and the main material conception is that main material anartha is I am this body, and this is the main thing. In the material world, the activities of the mind are acceptance and rejection, sankalpa and vikalpa. As long as the mind is in material consciousness, it must be forcibly trained to accept meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, whenever we are chanting, we are trying to bring our consciousness back to the holy name when it goes somewhere else. So, we are training the mind when we are chanting like that. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chakriyate. Abhyas means practice. So that's why there is training, right? I mean, there is, in the beginning of life, there is brahmacharya training. So it's a training. And then like that. So training is required. You have to train the mind. And to train, you require a suitable environment and suitable, teacher and everything. Then the mind becomes trained. As long as the mind is in material consciousness, it must be forcibly trained to accept meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when one is actually elevated, somebody like to say. But when one is actually elevated to the loving the Supreme Lord, the mind is automatically absorbed in thought of the Lord. So gopis they cannot forget Krishna. So they want to forget Him sometimes, they can't forget. We want to remember, we can't remember many times. His mind is going here and there. So, in such a position, a yogi has no other thought than to serve the Lord. This dovetailing of the mind with the desires of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called nirvana. or making the mind one with Supreme Lord. The best example of nirvana is cited in Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, the mind of Arjuna deviated from Krishna's. Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight, but Arjuna did not want to. So there was disagreement. But after hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna dovetailed his mind with Krishna's desire. This is called oneness. This oneness, however, did not cause Arjuna and Krishna to lose their individualities. So there is harmony in desire. Like in a company, all the employees are supposed to be in harmony with the mission of the company, right? So there is oneness in desire, not oneness in that you lose the individual. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have a question. I don't remember which verse. Yesterday I was reading chapter 9, I think 28. He says that Bhagavad Gita, he says that in the rishis, I am the Rishi Marichi. I am in my meditation, I am the chanting name. And in Maharishi, I am the Bhrigu. So Marichi was first 7 rishis, one of the sages, and also Bhrigu. So again, he describes Bhrigu specially. Among the Maharishis, I am the Bhrigu.
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean that Bhrigu is Krishna, but he's saying that wherever you see something very opulent or very extraordinary, you should see that it's my opulence manifesting in that. Like you say, of the immovable things, I am the Himalayas. That doesn't mean Himalayas is Krishna. Yeah, that doesn't mean Himalayas is Krishna. But seeing the Himalayas, we should remember, oh Krishna, it's Krishna's opulence. This huge mountain is coming from Krishna. Like the Himalayas of, I am the shark, of fishes, I am the shark. Like that, he says so many things.
In meditation, it says, in meditation, I am the chanting.
Correct. Sometimes it's direct. It says, of sacrifices, I am the Japa Yajna. So that is Krishna. The holy name is Krishna. And some other places, like he says, of the Daityas, I am Prahlad. Right? Or what?
Yeah, greatest devotee.
So Prahlad is not Krishna, but Prahlad is empowered. Like he's
Lord's greatest devotee. Yeah.
Pure devotee. So wherever you see all this splendor and opulence, then you should think that, oh, it's Krishna. Otherwise, we will see separately from Krishna, and that's illusion. Viteyamad vitey artham yad pratiyata chatman tad vidyat atmanomayam.
It's true.
So, yeah. Now, does it mean that we will not praise somebody if they have been empowered by the Lord? No, we praise devotees because they have been empowered because of their surrender to Krishna. Like we praise Srila Prabhupada, right? Because his surrender to Krishna is having taken shelter at his lotus feet. So we praise the devotees. Otherwise, we will just say, okay, only Krishna. We will not praise anybody because it's only Krishna's thing manifesting in this person. Then we will not praise any devotee. No, but the devotee, we understand that whatever the devotee, and devotee himself also feels that whatever abilities I have is coming from Krishna. But we say Krishna has empowered that devotee because he has taken shelter of Krishna. And he has not empowered others because they have not taken shelter of Krishna. So, like that. Of course, according to karma, one can get also. Even those who are atheists, they are also like very powerful, and they are also very intelligent in material ways. They have very good looks, and they may be against God. So that also Krishna's opulence is manifesting in that person. But he is not recognizing, as Prahlad Maharaj told Hiranyakashipu, your source of power and my source of power is same. I know my source of power, you don't know your source of power. So Hiranyakashipu did not know that is power. And Krishna has given that. And those who want to feel independent, Krishna gives them false ego. Like all of us, we feel, I am doing it, it's my thing. So he gives false ego, ahankar. And then, but the pure devotee has no ahankar. He doesn't feel that I am doing it. It is Krishna's mercy. And from our point of view, he has been empowered because the devotee has surrendered to Krishna. So he has been empowered by Krishna. Like that. So we praise the devotees because they have taken shelter of Krishna. Okay, and even if somebody doesn't have material talents, that's not the qualification. Which a pure devotee or advanced devotees will recognize devotees who are very poor, who don't have material talent because of their devotion. Like Prabhupada recognized that lady, the Bengali widow, who was bringing water from Yamuna every day to bathe Radha Damodar. So like that. She was not probably very educated, may have been also, but I don't know. But she was simple, but Prabhupada recognized. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognized Dukhi, even though she was just a simple maid servant. So the Lord will recognize. People of this world may not be able to recognize, but the Lord will recognize wherever there is devotion, because He's seated in everybody's heart. He will know everything. So, and that's also with Vasudeva the leper. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back because of his devotion. So, correct?
Yes.
So it's not about like external books or anything like that. But after hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Arjuna dovetailed his mind with Krishna's desire. He said, right, Nashtamoha smritir labdva Vat prasadat maya achyuta Sitosmi katha sandeha karishye vachanam tava. I am situated beyond all doubt, and my illusion is gone. Now I will act according to your instructions. So this is called karishye vachanam tava. Vachanam means your words. I will do according to your words. Tava means you. This is called oneness. This oneness, however, did not cause Arjuna and Krishna to lose their individualities. So they still were individuals, with Arjuna still having his free will. But his free will is dovetailed with Krishna's desire. Like in material world, our free will is independent of Krishna's desire. We are doing our own thing, whatever we like and however we want to enjoy. We are not concerned, like not you all, but the general mass of people, they are doing their own thing. So they want to enjoy independently of Krishna. So Krishna has created this situation. The Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand this. They think that oneness necessitates loss of individuality. Actually, however, we find in Bhagavad Gita that individuality is not lost. Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa na chaivam na bhavishyama sarve vadaya atham param. Krishna says, never was there a time when I did not. When the mind is completely purified in love of Godhead, the mind becomes the mind of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The mind at that time does not act separately, nor does it act without inspiration to fulfill the desire of the Lord. So one who has surrendered, Krishna acts through him. One who has given up everything to the service of the Lord. One who has taken full shelter of the Lord. The individual liberated soul has no other activity. Pratinivritta guna pravaha. So he has no other activity to do other than Krishna's will. In the conditioned state, the mind is always engaged in activity, impelled by the three modes of material world. So in this we are influenced by Sattva, Raja and Tama. And that is what is pushing us to do activities. But in the transcendental stage, the material modes cannot disturb the mind of the devotee. The devotee has no other concern than to satisfy the desires of the Lord. That is the highest stage of perfection, called Nirvan or Nirvan Mukti. At this stage, the mind becomes completely free from material desire. Yatha Archihi. Archihi means flame. When a lamp is broken or oil is finished, we see that the flame of the lamp goes out. But according to scientific understanding, the flame is not extinguished, it is conserved. This is the conservation of energy. Similarly, when the mind stops functioning on the material platform, it is conserved in the activities of the Supreme Lord. So then such a person is just, he leaves his body and he is in the spiritual world. Because that's where he has no attachments in this material existence, no desire. So he goes to the place. We transmigrate because of our attachment to this material world and desires to enjoy in this material world. That's why we get another body. So it is said, right, that one should, in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, one who gives up his material desires before he is completely satisfied. And let's see, there is verse like that. One who can give up material desires before giving this material body. Before giving up, chapter 5, verse 23. Here it says, before giving up the present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world. So there is pushings of the senses, but if one can tolerate and not act on it, and the force of desire, the desire is also coming with a force. Material desires come with a force and anger when desires are not satisfied. He is well situated and is happy in this world. So Prabhupada says, if one wants to make steady progress in the path of self-realization, he must try to control the forces of material senses. And it's difficult, right? Because the mind is just going crazy and the desires are just coming like rivers into the ocean. So many. There are forces of talk, forces of anger. So that's when we have to tightly take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, or the holy name like that. We have to take very tight shelter of devotional service. So, which is Krishna. Devotional service is Krishna. There are the forces of talk, forces of anger, forces of mind, forces of the stomach, forces of genitals, and forces of the tongue. Pachavegam manasakruta. One who is able to control the forces of all these different senses and mind is called Goswami or Swami. So that's why we bow down to the Swamis, because they have controlled. Such Goswamis live strictly controlled lives and forego altogether the forces of the senses. Material desires, when unsatiated, generate anger, and thus the mind, eyes, and chest become agitated. Therefore, one must practice to control them before one gives up this material body. One who can do this is understood to be self-realized. That means there are pushings and there are desires, but I will not, if it is not favorable for my bhakti, I will not act on it. One who can do this is understood to be self-realized and is thus happy in the state of self-realization. It is the duty of transcendentalists to try strenuously. One choice of words, strenuously means very hard. It is the duty of transcendentalists to try strenuously to control desire and anger. And just like no, it's not going to work. You know that we have to give the senses positive engagement. So at the same time, try. So both. We engage in devotional service at the same time. We have to try. So archihim means flame. When a lamp is broken or oil is finished, we see that the flame of the lamp goes out. Okay. The Mayavadi philosopher's conception of cessation of functions of the mind is explained here. Cessation of the mental functions means cessation of activities conducted under the influence of the three modes of material nature. So we can't get out of the three modes until we surrender to Krishna, Devesha Gunamayi, or Mamcha Yogya Bicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sargunan Samati Detan Prabhu. Without full engagement in devotional service, we cannot rise above the three modes of nature. So it starts little, slowly, and then becomes more and more and more. Like we start maybe with 1 round, then 2 rounds, then 3 rounds, then more rounds, then 16, then even more rounds, like that. So service, devotional service also. Then it increases, and at one point in life one says, I will be 100% engaged in service of the Lord. That's the sannyas ashram, where one with body, mind and words fully engaged in the service of the Lord. There is no any agenda for anything else. So that's yeah. Okay, so sannyas doesn't mean change of dress, but sannyas means change of consciousness, where I will fully engage. Anashrita karma phalam. Anashrita karma phalam.
Sannyasi chayo. Na niragni na chakrya.
So we have to decide at some point that I will fully engage in the service of the Lord. That's all. Because that's what they do in the spiritual world. So if you can do that activity here, then you means you are ready to go back to the spiritual world. Because you will not feel like you are already in that consciousness to fully engage in the service of the Lord. So if you are doing that activity here, then you will automatically fit in that environment. But if we have little service and then we have some other material desires, and then we have to come back till we come to the platform of fully engaging in the service of the Lord. So that's why we transmigrate till we come to the perfection of life, is to fully engage in Krishna's service. Like Prabhupada says, right? The devotees have left behind all considerations, and they have their, nation, their family. They have left everything, all other responsibilities, to engage in the service of the Lord. So they could be doing so many other things. They could be building a career. They could be doing. Of course, you can do that also as part of devotional service, but then you have to use everything, whatever comes from that, fully in Krishna's service. So that's how full surrender is. So usually we start with little, then it builds up. And at some point in life you say, no, I will give my life to Krishna. Give one life to Krishna. That's what it means, give one life to Krishna, Prabhupada said. Bhakti Charumara. So he said, you have been trying to enjoy for many lifetimes, but I see that you are still not satisfied. So we have been in this material nature trying to enjoy in this way, that way, in a dog body, in a cat body, like that. So many. But still we are in the cycle of birth and death. And so, been there, done that. Right? They say in English, been there, done that. So whatever material enjoyment we are trying to get in this life. We have already tried that in our previous life also. So that's why this verse says, Labdva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavante manusyam arthadam anityam api hatira turnam yateta na patedanam nitya niha shreyashaya vishaya khalu sarvatasya. Oh, it is saying that, yeah, sense gratification is available in any species of life. The eating, mating, sleeping, defending. This is available in any species of life. So now you should concentrate in what you didn't get in other forms of life. Tasyeva heto prayateto kovido na labhyate yad pramatam kariyada tal labhyate dukhavadanyata sukham kalena sarvatra kabirranasa. So it says, yeah, try for Krishna consciousness. That's why Prabhupada told, yeah, you try for Krishna consciousness in this life. Other things you have tried in other lifetimes, all these things. So of course, we may have tried in our previous life. That's why we are in Krishna consciousness. But we didn't complete it. That's why we have again got another chance by Krishna's grace, another body to fulfill our desires and to perfect our life again. So, like that. So we've been postponing many lifetimes, as Radha Maharaj was talking about procrastination when he was here. Been procrastinating. Maya makes us procrastinate. So, but why procrastination is not good? Because we don't know if there is tomorrow. Like we say like that, right? We should chant as if it was our last chanting today. We should observe whatever Purushottam says this was our last Purushottam month. So we should live our life as if it's the last chance I'm getting to read Bhagavatam, to engage in devotional service, because tomorrow, who knows? So we have to focus fully our consciousness. It's my last chance. Like Parikshit Maharaj, in 7 days he was fully absorbed because he knows this is my last 7 days of life. So, and if we practice that now, when actually our last days will come, then we can actually be focused on Krishna. Otherwise, so many things will come to mind. And we'll be thinking of this thing and that thing, and then we'll back here again in this material existence.
So, Prabhuji, you mentioned this is our last chance, right? But technically, if you think about it, it may not be the last chance. If we miss the boat, yeah, we'll be given another chance, but we don't know when. There are 8.4 million options. So it could be after 8.4 million births. Are we prepared to wait that long to get another chance? And we don't know what our consciousness is going to be like at that time.
Yes, that's a very good way to look at it. But generally they say also, sometimes we have heard like this, that if you do devotional service, then some devotional service, you're not perfected, then maybe you get a human life in the next, right? In that Neha Bhikrama Nasosti, Pratyavayana Vidyate Svagam. Yeah, but that's a hope-giving verse, but that doesn't mean that, we should think like that, I may not get another chance. In 8.4 million species of life, I will rotate where I will go. Even if Krishna is said like that, but we should think that, may not get another chance. Of course, it's it's not like Christians, we say you burn in hell forever or something like that. But again we get a chance, then again we can goof up. So that's why Jada Bharat was very cautious. All these stories are in Bhagavatam. Because Bharat Maharaj got distracted, and then as Jada Bharat, he was like very, very cautious not to become entangled in anything, just wanted to focus on Supreme Lord. He was kind to everybody. He was kind to King Raghumana and everything. But that's how we should think that this is my last chance.
So I also think it in a way that now the situation is nice. The situations can change and can become more difficult. Then, to chant in that difficult situation becomes difficult, like when the health is impacted or something. So I have a chance now to, advance in bhakti, so that when difficult times come, my faith is not shaken. I can still remember Krishna even though in those times. The more you sweat during peace, less you will bleed during war. So let me use my present situation, since it's a nice situation. I have a healthy body and no disturbance going on much. So let me become more serious now, because I don't know how situations will be tomorrow.
Correct. Good point. Yes.
And on the same point, actually, I've heard Mukundata Prabhu say this several times. Devotees in Seattle, this was back in the 90s, I believe, they had published a card with a Mahamantra on it. And below that, it said, chant while you can. And the meaning was that when, like as Sugandha Mataji was saying, as while we still have a healthy body, while we still can chant, who knows, we may wake up tomorrow and may not be able to say anything. We may not be able to speak. We may not be able to see. We may not be able to hear. All these faculties can be taken away from us without a moment's notice. So it's just the urgency.
Correct. Urgency, yes.
I heard I heard one lecture from Amrendra Prabhu was giving on the chanting, and that he was talking about that this is famous verse we're talking about ahani hani bhutani gachanti aya. I mean, this is says that, like, Yudhishthir Maharaj is saying that what is an amazing thing in this world is because everybody is dying. Right, here people dying, there people dying, but there are countless people dying every single moment. But still, the person who is thinking that I'm not gonna die. For me, it's like immortal, permanent situation here. So what could be more amazing than this? Then I don't know, it's not from the Bhagavatam, but it's some other scripture, I guess. He said that sulabham bhagwan nam jivya cha vasvartini tathapi narakyam yantam kim ascharyam atah param. So he says that what is more amazing than this is like sulabham bhagwan nam, that is a God name is easily available, it's freely available. He says that in the Kali Yuga we can chant, and chanting is the Hare Nam Ev Kevalam, right? So, and who fits in our tongue? By mercy of the Lord, we all have tongue, right? And Lord is completely fits in our tongue. We can chant the name anywhere, in any situation, whatever the occupational and duties you may be busy in, but still you can chant the holy name of the Lord. But the amazing thing is that people somehow still manage to go to hell. So what would be the most astonishing than this? And tathapi narkyam yantam. So, and in this age, it says that only the name is can deliver one, and we can go back to Godhead. But still, people are busy in they make. I would say that's kind of excuse. Everybody has 24 hours. Everybody is, as per their varna and ashram, they are busy in their duties. But somehow, if they are not attracted towards the Lord, so it's like shram eva hi kevalam, right? So is that like it's very important. We have this body, we have the situation, which is very rare human birth, and still if one not taking name, if we're not chanting the holy name, so what is most astonishing than this? So yeah, you were saying I like the point, sir. I mean, I like Andrew Prabhu, as you are saying that when someone is not, he says that, if someone not think that, okay, I can get, I will say that neha krama nasho siyasti. I mean, we can get another birth to go through, and our devotional process is not going to vanish. But still, if someone, but still, we have to go to the womb, another, take a birth, and we don't know if in the next life, what kind of situation would be. I mean, yeah, all the devotees are not very rich also. But we go through that stages, right? So it's better when can consider oneself that, oh, this lifetime is my last life. That's okay. That's done, because we have to go through, and it's, I mean, the miseries will be there, either in the devotees' life also. A lot of miseries there. Their mindset is different, but miseries is there. Yeah. So as Andhra Prabhu is saying, right, when one should think like that, this is my last chance to cry for Radha and Krishna. And how he was saying that when you come to the last round, then you should think that this is my last chance to please Radha and Krishna. When you come to the last mantra of the last round, I mean, then even he says that when you come to the last Hare, and Hare, which represents Radharani. So if Krishna didn't hear me, then let me call Radharani, like my last breath. So in that mood, one has to chant another, I mean, all the 16 rounds and another 16 round also in this same mood.
Nice. Yeah. Death is coming, death is coming. And so many of your years of our life have already gone. Yesterday I was hearing Prabhupada class. So he was saying that we have a fixed span of life, and according to our karma. So we don't know how long it will be. So he said, like the same purport, he was saying that. So every moment should be used. This is a lecture in the 7th canto. He was talking about Prahlad Maharaj's teachings. How people are so greedy to accumulate wealth. He was saying that sometimes people have enough money, and somebody has this much money, then he wants more. Then he has that much money, then he wants more. So, but if you tell them, you come to the temple and sit and hear the class, they say, I don't have time. I don't have time. So, although he has enough money, but the greed is like that. He was talking like that. The greed is like that they will say, I don't have time. So, it's like the other attraction is so much. We are not able to focus because we are not convinced that there is, yesterday also Govind Prabhu was saying, these meaningless material attachments. The meaningless material attachments, until we give up, we can't go to the spiritual world. So all these material attachments and Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam Taya Prita Chetasam Vyasayatmika Buddhi Samudavano. Dravida Prabhu was telling me, why should I become attached to all these things if I have to eventually give them up? Because at the time of giving them up, it will become very painful. So why should I? Of course, he is a renounced person like this. But we can learn from this. He says, why to become attached to something that you eventually have to give it up? And that giving up will cause a lot of pain. Because nobody is going to last here. Any person or anything, or you will also not last. Our body will be gone completely one day, right? I mean, you see that some people you know, and they are no longer visible now because they are gone. That form is gone forever. So similarly, our form that we are so attached to, and we look in the mirror and think this is me, but this form will be gone one day completely. So on the basis of non-existence of this form, temporary material form, one should engage in devotional service. Prabhupada writes like that in one purport. Thinking that this body is nothing, it's not like really, it's not going to last, but I am the soul. And thinking like that, one should engage in devotional service and not just simply try to make the body comfortable and try to work for sense gratification to get more and more enjoyment for the body, but work for the benefit of the soul. So to engage in devotional service. Of course, we have to take care of the body, but taking care of the body is easy business. Jayadvaita Maharaj says it doesn't require much. You eat a little less and then just some place to lie down. You don't need to have big arrangement like that. It's easy business. And then focus your time on Krishna. So, of course, they're all renounced personalities, but we can learn, take inspiration from this. So, at the end, nothing is going to go. Then why we are accumulating so much, and what are we trying to do here? That sometimes we have to. No person is going to come with me. no assets are going to come with me, then why am I so engrossed in these things for a few years? And the more you're attached, the more it's painful to live at the time of death. More than physical pain, sometimes it's also mental, attachments to all these things. I have to leave this and you have to leave that, and this one I worked so hard to achieve this, and that time you have to go. So that time it becomes very painful. And you become full of anxiety. That's why Prabhupada was saying, one man was saying, "Doctor, please give me 4 more years. I have my unfinished plans to finish my..." But what is the plan this is like a toilet, Prabhupada also said. It's a toilet. You finish your business and you get out. You don't stay in the toilet and you beautify the toilet. And no, it's just like you do your business and get out. So our business here is just to become Krishna conscious and to get out of this material existence. But instead we have become attached to the toilet. So that's Prabhupada says that's why we can't go back to the spiritual world with so many things here. It is miserable, but we have become attached to this miserable situation because there is little sense gratification here and there. And for that paltry sense gratification, we are working so hard and so much endeavor is going for that little enjoyment. Okay, so it's 8:30. Didn't realize. But nice discussion. Thank you all for this kind of discussion is nice because it helps you realize the importance and become serious about spiritual life, urgency of spiritual life, and where we have to go. And practices will become a little more serious. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.